Hi friends, happy Monday. I'm glad you joined me today. I've got some really pretty cards that I'm going to be showing you tonight. I've got another swap that I'm working on, and I have a little bit of feedback. Sorry about that. Hopefully that's better. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So let me try a different one. I think that earbuds, after a while, they start to misbehave. I just need to use the old-fashioned ones, but I can't do that and plug in my phone to do a live. Okay, so here we are back again. So I had showed you earlier last week about all kinds of yummy goodies that came out of the new catalog. And tonight I'm going to be showing you a beautiful bundle that I just gave you kind of a peek at called Unbound Love. And it comes from a suite collection called Unbounded Beauty in the new annual catalog. But I fell in love with these sentiments and the dies. And so I thought they would be a great way to use gorgeous sentiments all year long. I've already sent out a birthday card and I've made 21 cards. I'm almost done making the 21 cards for a swap. And so I just have lots of use for it, and I am really excited because I think some of the sentiments will make just a fantastic Christmas card as well. So, all right, let's get to it. Move this over so you can see. Okay, so as you can see, I am showing you the assorted 2024 to 2026 assorted, the In-Color, sorry, assorted cardstock. And it comes with, I believe it's 40 pieces of cardstock. And what you get is each one of these has two sides to it. So you can see that there's these four predominant patterns, but they come in all of these colors. So we've got Petunia Pop, we've got Pretty in Pink, which I'm super excited because that came out back in 96, I think. And so I loved that color back in 96, and I was really sad to see it go. It's a great pink. And then we have Peach Pie, which we've needed a peach pie in forever. And then we've got the Shy Shamrock, and then we've got Summer Splash. So great colors. And the cardstock, same thing, just great colors. I think it kind of reminds me of gumdrops or, I don't know, candy shops. They're really just great, fun colors. They're not super bright and bold. But the green is a little bright, but it just is really fun colors. And I think that there's going to be lots of use for that. Okay, so I'm making the cards from these two things, from the cardstock and from the assorted designer series paper. And they have new stamp pads for all the In-Colors. You can also get re-inkers. They also have coordinating ribbon, which you can tell the ribbon matches the inks, which matches the designer series paper, which matches the cardstock as well. So one of the things that really convinced me to love Stampin' Up! Was how great they coordinate everything that they make. And then they also have these great little embellishments. So these are the resin dots, and they come in all 5 colors as well. So those are what I'm going to be using. Okay, so the cards that I'm making for this swap are these right here. It looks like I lost a dot. Good thing it didn't go far. My cat has been crawling all over everything today. Okay, so what I've used is I've used some of this Unbound Love. So the Unbound Love bundle includes these sentiments and these dies. Now, the sentiments, I think I read a little bit about them on Monday of last week, but they're so beautiful. You've got faith, hope, love, peace, and I think a number of those would make an amazing Christmas card. Obviously, even just like having, hope, love, peace makes the world a better place. I think that that would be a really pretty sentiment. And then if you have the hope, love, peace, or faith, love, hope, whatever on the front, you could have that sentiment on the inside along with a Christmas, Merry Christmas. Now the dies are just amazing. And let me just show you what I'm talking about. So obviously there's all these wonderful dies. They've got some edging here that is little dotted, and then some really nice edging here. And they've got these little leaf dies. And then these ovals, they all nest in each other if you want. So in other words, I could nest this one inside of this one as a coordinating color. And then this flower, again, will nest inside of there as well. And then you've got these extra little flower embellishments that go with it. This right here is one die, but if you notice, it cuts it out, cuts the middle out. So again, you could have this in a coordinating color and do this one in white to put your sentiment on. And it may look really small, but some of these sentiments are small, so it works really well. And or you can just leave them like that where they are nested together. So you can see that's just really pretty. And then this one here is a really nice sentiment size, and it's the one I'm actually using for my cards. But this one and this one are like this. They actually are all one die. And let me just show you. So it's this one right here. So it cuts this little piece on the outside, which ends up being this on the inside. And then this nests super perfectly with this. Same thing. This nests with this. So this could be a really great coordinating color outline, or this can be a pop-up with this being a layer underneath. I mean, the possibilities are really wonderful and endless. So I think it's great. These two nest within each other. So again, it makes it really nice to have when the dies just nest really nicely with each other. So some great ways to coordinate your dies and get some really pretty sentiments out of it. So even this one, you could pop up the middle because again, it cuts it out, and you could have this just layered down below in another color. So let's say you cut this out, one in white and one in red. You would have the white for the sentiment and the red for the outside. So really beautiful. Okay. So these cards, I am using the Designer Series paper, the cardstock, and then I'm using a new embossing folder. And this is called Fun Patterns Embossing Folder. So when you have a 3 1/4 inch size embossing folder, you can't get the full width. So it's really a great idea to just add like a strip of it. So I've got a strip here of the cardstock embossed with this really cute daisy pattern. I've got the Designer Series paper with the floral here, and then I've got a little strip of the polka dots down here. And then I put a little ribbon, just flagged it. So that's just one like 3 inch or 3 1/4 inch piece folded in half and tucked under. I popped up the label, and then I used 2 of the leaves to kind of add a little 3D element. And then I've got 3 of these little dots. So I'm going to put together this card real quick and show you how it goes. Such pretty colors. I just think it makes for really gorgeous cards. Okay, so I'm using Faith, which is one stamp set and is being sure of what we cannot see as a second one. And what I've done is I've set them up together, and then they're all on one block, which makes for a great way to get your sentiments stamped. So I'm using Petunia Pop on this one. I don't know if you've noticed, but Stampin' Up! Loves to make little play on words, and they like their little colors to be the same first letter. Not all of them, because like Soft Sea Foam has an F in there. But so Petunia Pop, Peach Pie, that's a bunch of papas, Summer Splash, and Shy Shamrock, so that's a bunch of S's, and then Pretty in Pink, another papa. So it's fun. And I've always laughed about Stampin' Up! Doing this because I just think it's really cute. It makes it catchy, kind of stays in your head. It's like Pretty in Pink. I was so excited because when they announced that, I was like, I know that color. And sure enough, back from 1997, I think through early 2000. So again, one of my favorite colors. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp this sentiment first. And it just fits really nicely in this rectangle die or die cut label. Let me find my chamois. Okay, now, so what I did is I started with an A2 card size, which is 8.5 by 5.5. And I'm just going to make sure that all my edges lined up. I scored it at 4 1/4, but you know how it goes. It doesn't always end up perfectly. So, okay. Then I have a 2 3/4 by 5 3/8. Okay, so it's just going to nest in here, just slightly smaller than my oversized or my card base. So this I'm going to put on the right hand side. Now I could have popped everything up, but you know, this is for a swap, and I think that I've got plenty of things popped up on this, so just makes for a really nice card base. Now the nice thing about layering these is that they can overlap a little bit, and that's usually the best way to do it. So I make each one of these just slightly bigger than it needs to be. So this is 2 7/8 or 2 3/4 by 5 3/8, and then this is 1.5 inch by 5 3/8. But before I put that one on, I need to put this on. This is 1 inch, and I think it's about 3 inches, so it's a little bit longer, but that's okay. I'm going to be covering it up with this other piece. So everybody with the swap will get the different colors, but they'll get one of the 5 different colors. All my cards are the same, but because it's during pre-order, which means that as a demonstrator, I'm able to get access to new product before anybody else. And it gives me an opportunity to play with them and show samples so that I'm not surprised when you're surprised. You know what I mean? So it's a great way. So if you're interested in getting a hold of product before anyone else does, becoming a demonstrator is a great way to do that. And you can just be a hobby demonstrator. You don't have to be a big one on sales. So I started out as a hobby demonstrator back in the day, and I was okay with that. Okay, so my little sentiment, I'm just going to put some dimensionals so it pops up. And then let's see, what I need is I need my glue dots. And I thought I had them out and handy. Ah, hey there, around the base. Okay, so I'm going to fold this in half, and I want it to stay together. And then I'm going to add a glue dot to the front and to the back of where I folded it. Okay, so you can see what I'm talking about. And then it goes just under the corner of my label, just like so. And the reason I'm gluing it on there and putting glue on the back is in case it you know, gets caught on something. I don't want it to just fall out. So I am lining it up so my sentiment is on this line and just above this line or just about on it. So now as you can see, my ribbon is a little long. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to snip that so it's a little bit shorter. It doesn't hang off the edge of my card. Okay, so I die cut a couple of leaves out. Let's see, I'm not finding the other little leaf. Goodness, what did I do with it? I'll find it. It's probably on the floor. Okay, so I have these two little leaves. And I did want to do this one, but this was a lot to make 22 of them. I'm keeping one for myself, so that's why I'm saying 22 of them. Okay, so what I'm going to do to adhere these is I'm going to use the glue dot and I'm going to do the little roll up thing. I think you've seen me do that before. If you've watched me, hey Linda, thanks for joining me. I am going to do a little roll up of the glue dots. So I pull on it and I just roll a little bit and it kind of pops it up, but it also adheres it. So I'm just placing it right here. And then I'm going to do another little rolled up glue dot for the back of this one because these stems are so narrow and I didn't necessarily want the whole thing to be sticky. And then I'm going to do a little one here. So it kind of just goes over the top of the ribbon. And then I'm going to use the coordinating little resin dots and putting it right there. So isn't that cute? Just super easy. Just took a few minutes to do. And you can see that I just did the basic white thick, and this is a regular basic white cardstock that I die cut the little label out, and then I die cut a couple of these little leaves for each one of the cards so that they are exactly the same. So that's my card for tonight. I know that I'm running out of time, or actually I'm way ahead of time, but thank you for joining me. I've got a whole bunch more cards to make. So you can see that there's a slew of them that I have to put together just yet. But I've got all the hard work done. So there's my little die. I tell you, they're always hiding. So thank you so much for joining me. Oh, thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. If you're catching this later on YouTube, feel free to click subscribe or like. And if you are interested, share it with a friend. And I appreciate you watching tonight. And thank you for joining me. I'll talk to you on Friday.